Okay, so today we have Morrissey, Once I Saw the River Clean. This one is from I'm Not a Dog on a Chain, which I don't think I've reacted to anything off of this album. So yeah, this is from 2020. So this is very recent Morrissey track, and we're gonna get into it today. Talk about it after. 4 minutes 19 seconds. So let's get into it. Talk about it after. Yeah, and let's go. Whoa.
Once I saw the river clean, distant future wait for me. I grow pleasing to the eye, and the queue will queue for me. Once I saw the river clean, soon the clock will strike for me. Childish mind anticipates, grown-up mind consummates. I walked with my grandmother down a wind-blown Chester road, with her 52 new pence for her 20 number 10s, and my 45 pence to demand metal guru. Once with hearts securely stacked, then we walked all the way back. I walked with my grandmother along the grown-up Talbot Road, in the gardens by the graves. I can just about behave, arrogant and paranoid, all around see fat-head youth, look into their brutal eyes, but only if you want the truth. Once I saw the river clean, scratching up the latest scheme. Time will come, but it hasn't yet. Someone's out to get me. I walked with my grandmother. Cornbrook Street were incomplete. She would never be again a Dublin dancer, free and young.
All right, my goodness. So Morrissey, Once I Saw the River Clean. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting this kind of production on this track. Coming in, I mean, I don't know what I expect, I guess. I didn't expect it to be this I don't know, for the music to sound this good, I guess, as well, because again, this is 2020. Morrissey's been going on from, since the Smiths in the early 80s, and to still have a track like this where he still sounds strong vocally, and he still he sounds a little bit, his voice. Obviously, it sounds a little gruff, I guess you would say, in a good way. I like the gruffness, I would say, as well. But yeah, he doesn't sound, because again, I guess he was like 60 around this time, recording this. But his voice just, again, it sounds strong. I mean, it doesn't sound like he's old or whatever, really. He sounds older, obviously, but he doesn't sound like he's, he shouldn't be singing or something, like some musicians get to that point. But yeah, I just really enjoyed his vocals here. I have to say, love like I said, the production. There's such a diverse instrumentation going on here. I mean, and again, on Wikipedia here, it has the personnel, but there's so many different people on here. It's hard to follow, from seeing that there's a fiddle, there's a mandolin, there's obviously an acoustic guitar here as well, obviously drums, and, there's so much going on here. It's hard to follow and just give everyone their due. But, I'm taken aback. I mean, if you can tell, I don't even know what to say. This production, not even just talking about the lyrics yet, but this has, obviously the synthesizers here sound like a callback to, the 80s, maybe even the 70s, but still, somehow, they still sound modernized. They still sound like, this fits perfectly in a song from 2020, or from a song today, and it's just, I don't know how they did that, yeah, but I just can't get over that. The synthesizers are obviously a big part here. Like I said, the fiddle in there, the mandolin, they were great parts as well too. I love the stringed instruments like that, and just sound kind of extravagant in a way. And the song is almost like an autobiography. Morrissey talking about, if he's really talking about his grandmother here, and talking about, walked with my grandmother, and he's going through, and talking about how at the end, she would never be again, a Dublin dancer, free and young, talking about his roots. He mentions roots at one point as well. And, it's just like, my goodness, it's just, this, like I said, there's a lot going on here. I'm just taken aback. I mean, I can say it again. But I guess, lyrically, when he talks about, once I saw the river clean, distant future, wait for me. I don't know if he's talking about, he sees things more clearly now. Because again, obviously, Morrissey's been in the news a lot, in the way that, he sees things differently now, whatever. He sees the river clean. Distant future, wait for me. I grow pleasing to the eye, and the Q will cue for me. He's talking about, this whole first verse, there's a lot of me going on, and talking about, it's going to wait for me. I've seen the river clean. And then you go on in the second verse, like I said, we start talking about, I walk with my grandmother. And it seems like, they went to get, for her 20 number 10s, cigarettes, talking about Metal Guru, which is, I can't say guru, which is a song from T-Rex, of course, which has, I know T-Rex was an influence on Morrissey and especially the Smiths' work. But anyway, just going through here, all these, verses quickly, I don't know, just seeing what's going on here. They talk about, in the garden by the graves, I can just about behave. Again, there's still that Morrissey kind of humor in here. There's a warmth to the song, I have to say, which, I don't know, just, it feels welcoming. It's a welcoming song somehow. And going on here, arrogant and paranoid all around, see fathead youth, which I got a chuckle out of. Look into their brutal eyes, but only if you want the truth. Again, talking about the truth here. And then the fourth verse, once I saw the river clean, scratching up the latest scheme. Time will come, but it hasn't yet. Again, there's a little bit of a, would you say like a sinister kind of feel to this? Time will come, but it hasn't yet. It's a little bit like dark, and there was some dark production in this as well, where it's just like, you felt a little bit on edge. So yeah, I enjoyed the instrumentation here. I have to say the lyrics as well add to that as well, to make it even more dark in a way. And again, like I said before, he talks about, again, I walk with my grandmother, Cornbrook Street, where incomplete, she would never be again, a Dublin dancer, free and young. So, she's, never be if you're just talking about your grandmother, old and kind of decrepit at some point, she'll never be a Dublin dancer again, free and young, she's on her way out, basically, is what comes to mind. But anyway, I'm just, again, an autobiography almost in a way. And, I'm just, again, the production just took me aback, just how it starts off, just that skittering, sound, and just, uneasy, unnerving in a way, but also, like I said, kind of welcoming. It has me a little bit, confused, for God's sakes. But anyway, like I was saying, the different variety here, seeing somebody talking about here, the synths, the pounding drums, the guitar, the mournful fiddle, as somebody puts it, it all compiles into like I said, an autobiographical experience where Morrissey's going back and talking about his roots in a way. And it's just, again, I don't, like, I can't say it enough. I didn't know what to expect here, but I didn't expect this for some reason. But like I said, with the darkness as well, I think of a band who obviously uses a lot of synths and such, and I reacted to recently, is Depeche Mode, and they also just released a new single, new song, and they're still going without Fletch, which, I mean, I'm glad that they, decided to keep going. I'm sure Fletch would probably want that. But anyway, that's an aside. But yeah, Depeche Mode comes to mind, again, with these synthesizers. I can't say it enough. And, but still, like I was saying, all that to say, this song does have kind of a nostalgic feel. And again, for Morrissey, many years out, I want to say almost 40 years after he started his career, it's crazy to hear a song like this where where he still sounds pretty goddamn good. Because again, it's just, I don't know why that's coming to my mind, but yeah, for almost 40 years after you start your career, you're still putting out songs like this where it sounds really, where you still sound strong. The music sounds, modernized, but it still sounds retro in a way. It's just like, I don't know, like I said, there are musicians who can still do that and sound fresh even so many years later after they released the first album. And Morrissey here, I think this was his 13th album. I'm not a dog in a chain. And still he sounds so strong. He sounds present, obviously, as well. And that's just one thing. Obviously, Morrissey being, again, I think looking after himself throughout his life, and not really dabbling in drugs or alcohol and all this stuff. Maybe he did, but he never let it, consume him or anything like that. He seems like he was always kind of he knew what he was doing. He knew, he was a straightforward kind of guy, and he didn't want to, wreck his vocals or wreck his image or whatever, or I mean, maybe whatever. But he's always been true to himself. I mean, you can always say that about Morrissey, whether you like him or not. And that's just one thing that still seems so prevalent here, because again, this seems like such a autobiographical track, and I just can't say that enough. And so anyway, and again, I can't say it enough about his voice. Sounds so, that gruffness, there's that wiseness to it. And he's talking about, again, you're putting wisdom into, talking about what it used to be like and whatever in the song, but he's still using wisdom from today that he thinks he's learned. My goodness, it was a good track. And I see here, it's not even a single from the album, but I see, just looking through, again, the comments on YouTube, which I like to, look at the comments and stuff and see what people are thinking, what they're saying, whatever. Because again, these people, a lot of people love the song. I see, so even, somebody saying, imagine releasing a record like this, 37 years into your career, which again, this was from 2020, so it's more years now. But anyway, it's just like, it's just some people can't believe he's still this good. It sounds very much like a masterpiece, this album does. And the song is excellent. I see people talking about, and a lot of people talking about the synthesizers in the background, obviously. And I have to agree. I mean, my goodness gracious. This is, I see somebody else saying this is his best song in a long time. So just to have such a strong track like this, like I said, so many years into your career, it's a friggin' achievement. I mean, I'm trying to look for the word there. And so really enjoyed that. And again, the title Away, he always does a good job at making, intriguing titles, and seeing what's he going to talk about here once I saw the river clean, so anyway, I enjoyed this track. Thank you for the request. I never mentioned it, but somebody requested this one. And coming again to a newer track from Morrissey here. I like the old tracks as well, but it's always fun to see what Morrissey's talking about, more recently or whatever. And really enjoyed this. So anyway, I feel like my voice is going deep now too. But anyway, thanks for watching. This was the last reaction I had to do for the night, and thankfully, because my voice, I feel like I'm getting sick. My goodness gracious, but had to get the reactions out of the way for the week and finish it off with Morrissey, and we finished off pretty strong, I gotta say. And again, I know I should end this, but I'm rambling on here. But there was such a kind of warmth, and it's such a welcoming feeling to this, even if it was a little bit sinister, was a little bit kind of unnerving at parts. But still, there was a nostalgia here, which I don't know. It just it created such a such a track. I don't even know how to describe the track really. I guess I have already, but yeah, just such a weird kind of feeling going on here for me anyway. Weird in a good way, but anyway, like I said, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Really appreciate all the support, and I will talk to you guys again soon.